If anything, what I like about the Hanoi scene is the quality and the number of DJs there are here.
It's good compared to, yeah, I'm gonna say a few years ago. Now you really have the choice. There is always like a good warm-up, a good closing.
I mean, the scene's young, and it's rapidly evolving, you know, rapidly, at kind of a scary rate. And things that are happening now, I didn't think were possible 2 years ago.
Things have started like slowly being sort of bubbling up, and now there's just so many events happening like every weekend. You know, you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 different things you could go to that are really big and quite good quality.
Friday night I played 3 gigs in 3 different bars. No one gets paid amazingly here, but it's not about that. It's not about doing it for the money. It's about playing music and sharing your passion for music and like exposing that to people that want to hear it.
I think that the scene in Hanoi is very interesting and colorful because everyone, like they play music for passion and they're really looking for their own side. So you will never get bored to listen to each local DJ in here.
I hear a lot of sounds that that I find kind of new, and I've heard a lot of stuff. But here, like I'm pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of what I call diggers, people who kind of really, looking for obscure tracks, and as a result, know kind of their sound pretty well. If I compare with, for instance, some of the DJs I've heard in Hong Kong or Bangkok, I think Hanoi is faring pretty well.
In Hanoi, you have like the local crowds, the expat crowd who lives in Hanoi, but also a lot of people traveling. This I like because then it's a good mix between all these different type of people, so you can have people from everywhere and for different reasons.
I've never been to a city that's got such a big sort of creative community as well. There's so many creative people here doing things. It's the city of doers.
That's another reason why I came here. Yeah, they're really, from an outside perspective, they really felt like Hanoi had a real kind of energy and like a sense of community between people within the underground scene for sure.
The community's so tight and everybody knows each other. If you don't have all the equipment, like somebody else that does, and you can go to their place, and it's like a really nice community to be part of.
Everyone wants to give everyone a chance to play, and that's how you build a music community, is to sort of give everyone a chance.
There's not really a lot of like egotism and like competition in the sense of like going for slots. Like obviously, yeah, there is some of that in any scene in some ways. Like people want to play in certain places, but actually generally people are pretty nice. That is, yeah, that's just nice. Yeah.
Hanoi is developing really fast. We may not like everything, but there's development, it's moving, it's dynamic. It's not so difficult to start something, like the sense of community, the proximity with other people, it's not saturated. Even the fact that things are affordable, like it allows you to kind of do stuff, things that would be very, very difficult to do elsewhere.
So Birdcage is one of the first plays I discovered when I arrived in Hanoi, and I don't like to use this word, but I have to use it, like, let's say, underground. It's for me like, yeah, what is really underground? It's a place where when you pass the door, you feel really free. Jeff C basically was the guy 6 years ago who just built the reputation of this club.
I thought it was strange when I got here that it was quite hard to find places to do an event as a promoter, The curfew was relatively strict then. Everything closed at 12. think I just came to the Birdcage on a random night out, and again, the curfew was in effect, so there was very few places you could go after midnight. And we drove down this muddy track and came to this, almost pitch black place in the farmlands between the main road and the river. And there was about 20 people here, but it didn't close, which at the time was a novelty, And that was its potential. It kind of still is its potential. It's its location, the fact that you can get away with being open late and you can make noise, But at that point, it was actually a gay sauna. So at the time, there was a bath, there was a sauna, and there was a bar. So I think after he'd had a few nights where people started coming at midnight to drink, he realised that perhaps gay sauna was not the angle he wanted to go down. It'd be better to run it as a bar, and it just kind of naturally went that way. I was pretty opinionated on the place, and I had some experience with the scene back in the UK, so I, kept saying, oh, they should do this and they should do that. And then somebody said, well, why don't you run the place? And I was pretty hesitant, actually. I didn't want to do it because I knew it would be goodbye to all of my sleep and that kind of thing. But yeah, I took it on in the end, and it was exciting from the word go, We definitely had a plan, we had a vision for the place, which was cool, and it had so much potential.
The beauty of this place is just give the freedom to change it. In terms of setup, you can really transform all the club.
But yeah, generally people contact us, they want to do an event, and then they're in charge of booking and decor and promotion, essentially. And I think it's a really great way of having the community have their own say and have their own space and put their own stamp on things, and it kind of naturally evolves with the competition that the promoters have with each other, and they constantly kind of reinvent the venue, and the sound is diverse as well. I think we've had 600 or 700 people in here, but it's rammed and uncomfortable. I think ideal capacity is somewhere between 400 and 500. I had a lot of control for a manager, and they left me to it most of the time.
He was working with Ayub, and then he left. Many bars and clubs has opened, so the club was a bit dying because there was no more team to take care of it.
I don't think their hearts were in it in many ways. And so after a while, there was an offer on the table for us to take it over as the owners. And again, I had to be talked into it. I wasn't initially taken with the idea. I thought, wow, it's a lot of responsibility. Even though I was really passionate about the place and I believed in it, it was Thomas that talked me into it. Absolutely. I'm happy he did.
I thought it was just such a shame, because for me, I always thought it's just one of the best places I saw even in Asia. It's there is such a soul and spirit that nowhere you can find.
The biggest emotion has been just happiness that we can do the things that I wanted to do when I was the manager, because we really had big plans when we were running the place previously, and we had so many ideas and so many nights we'd spend chatting about how we're going to build this and do that, and what if we create this and bring in this sound system, and how good would it be if we did this, and it could never happen because we weren't in a position of control. So of course when we got the keys, we started spending money on the things that we wanted to do, and it does look much better, and it seems like a really, it's a different beast now in many ways.
The main goals was change the sound system, the bars, the toilets, and the road. The road was nothing. I mean, there was no road. It was super dirty, and when it was raining, it was really hard to access. There is a special vibe in Hanoi, especially he had that before the COVID. It was really free.
There was a lot of competition. I think a lot of people saw what we were doing here, and the nightclubs started springing up in the area, And there was a point where there was too many venues. It was exciting to welcome new venues, but there was no way that they could all compete. I think everyone's kind of found their space now, but it was crazy for a little while. 2017, 2019, it was packed, but all the way up until COVID.
I remember the reaction of international DJ who was booked at Savage. I mean, the reaction when they saw what was happening, that was really intense, I will say. Like 2017, 2018, 19, it was really something, I will say crazy, you know?
That was exactly what I had wanted to cultivate in many ways, that kind of competition. You know? When we got there, I was like, wow, this is tough.
So many clubs, so many parties. It's just everywhere. Actually, I saw someone complain about it on some like bullshit Facebook group. It's like so many electronic party music right now. But that is thanks to Savage. Thanks to Savage, it's like hundreds of people going to that club and enjoy the music.
Savage is an amazing place. I mean, when we first got here, it was a shell of a building and they had like the first party in there. It was really cool, super underground, and then it completely took off.
Yeah, we've been organizing parties in Hong Kong for a couple of years, and then at some point, like we were like, okay, it'd be great if we have like our own space. At that time, it was a bit difficult to make it happen in Hong Kong because of like the rent and all the price are like quite expensive there. So we were looking for a spot to settle in Asia, and like we went to Hanoi, and we thought it was the right place for us.
It was hard, I'm gonna say, at the very beginning, but slowly it went organically. People were coming with friends of friends, and so they were checking the venue. So yeah, it took us 6 months, I think, to build our small community.
But we did it on purpose. We didn't like do a big promotion and marketing promotion and stuff. We really wanted to create first our own crowd that would be really here for the music. And Savage is also located in a more quiet area. It's not in the old quarter. It's like by the lake, and you have to find it. So the very first customer, I guess, there were really people who were in front of music. And so by bringing them first, you create this crowd that bring more and more people, word to mouth, before we start really like getting to be known in the city.
Like when Savage opened, it pretty much like changed my, my standard of life pretty much. Like, cause it was something to go to every week, and like proper new music and a space that's like unlike any other place in Hanoi really. Like it's a proper club with like proper bookings and everything.
Yeah, the bookings, so I think Savage were really like pushing the boundaries of what this city's seen before.
Yeah. The fact that they can book these like super amazing DJs that no one else in this town would be able to afford to book or have the connections to book, that's something that's really amazing.
The club made the work by introducing a new niche of sound, I'm gonna say, and people were curious at the beginning, and now, yeah, we don't really need to introduce anymore because they're getting used to it with names and people that we bring either from Asia or Europe.
In the last 2 years, we really saw the difference with the crowd, so much more Vietnamese and people coming, and they're a bit more curious about the music, and they know who played, and they come back again. So We really feel that we are building something, and there's people following what we do, and also doing their research, and yeah, people are quite curious, I think.
For myself, it's like as the local, like to involve into this projects. You know, I came with I knew those guys because of service. I go there almost like every weekend because as a music lover, I see the new style of music, like the new style of like partying, and the most important is the attitude, the vibe people going there. It's different with the whole like music scene and then the nightlife in Hanoi at the moment.
There are a lot of Vietnamese that starting being DJ actually by having Savage to train and also to discover the music, and this is really like something that we love to do. It's to bring this in the city and see it grows and see the local crowd starting to really like own it as well.
When Savage was open, it changed the game completely. Before then, when I went to HRC or Come ITK, there's only 10 people. There's only like the same similar face, just standing there and just like doing the hey, just like yeah, you enjoy the night, yeah, that's it, you know. And now it's just like people dancing like crazy. I think Savage changed the fucking game.
So yeah, the main idea of it was just really bring something new and fresh to the scene. The main focus was more, I mean, the venue and really play with the beauty of Vietnam. So our first 3 events, we didn't do any international booking, and it was really successful. We got sold out. The first 5 studios was sold out before the event. Yeah, it was like maybe one of the first like strong collective. Yeah, we have good following and people trust us. But I mean, it's not that easy. Huh? That's the difference between Asia and Europe. The crowd is hard to catch. You need to work hard.
I think that the vibe of Metro is pretty interesting because they definitely bring a real like they bring a rave aesthetic to the night. Each night I've gone to, it's always very, it's quite raw and intense.
I think really we wanted to do something just kind of for us, and luckily people have been like really receptive to that, and you know they really enjoy it, and it's kind of taking off. You can see it going further with what we're doing at the minute. So yeah, it's exciting times for Metro and for Hanoi as well, I think. As there's been more and more events, I think it's harder to get the amount of people. So when we first got here, you know, there was maybe like a few events happening each month, and you would get a lot of people, like everyone would be going to those events. But now, because there's so many things happening, you know, people have got a lot more choice. You know, they can pick the genres, like what they want to go to. So yeah, so it's a lot more difficult to try and pull in the crowd, I think.
It's like really, really tight, close-knit community, but then it's sort of the downfall a bit as well, because you don't have as many people as you would in the UK or wherever you come from, maybe originally, like in another big city where everything's a bit more established.
Yeah.
We want to invest in it, but that's not always working out in your favour, because you usually just take the money from the door, and people here don't like to spend a lot of money on tickets and stuff like that, which like restricts you a lot from being able to like book DJs and bring people in and like invest in it more than we would like to.
All the nights here have to try like pull in Vietnamese people and, like to be interested in this sort of thing, because they are the ones that will always be here.
Yeah, that's one thing that we want to try more to. I mean, we do anyway with Metro, try and like push that, you know, try and get everything like translated into Vietnamese and try and like really sort of like push promoting towards the Vietnamese. Yeah, and as well, a lot of them, they're into the Wiener House, they're into their EDM. What we try and do with Metro is try and like go into those sort of Facebook groups and try and sort of like infiltrate them and try and post a few of our little things in the hope that, you know, sometimes we can sort of bring some of them over to a different sort of style of music.
Even if we all leave, that they're still here and that this scene can still continue to grow.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they'll bring their own flavour to it, or new ideas or whatever, new nights, and keep it going.
It will take time for Vietnamese people to start to go to underground music, but it's very possible that it will happen soon. I invite my friends and they invite their friends, and the more and more we start to know about the underground scene, and they are curious, so they will try to see how it is, and some of them will be very interested and they will start to, it's like a butterfly effect. Yeah.
We need to have people, I mean, and especially in Hanoi, that people go and live every 6 months. If you not create a crowd with local people, I mean, your job is for you. I mean, it not sense. I mean, you can invite everyone from around the world, but if you don't have crowd, I mean, it's not sense.
I think the Vietnamese young people, they are very interested in freestyle rap or hip hop, indie, and also EDM, mostly. The local scene here is not so big, and we need to stay together to be stronger. Because now I think the scene is very divided. EDM club in the old quarter and underground music in Tây Hồ. And I think we can support each other. And there's things like the EDM concert, they have the one stage for techno. It's also a really good way to support each other. Yeah.
So we have the chance to play techno and to start our project in the same night of Dead Mao. So the club was EDM and commercial music direction. And they have one room they normally use for hip hop. This was perfect. So Dead Mao was playing my room, almost 1,000 people or more. I mean, it was super full. So
of course, all the people was concentrated on the main stage, on the main room. But in the time that they finish, most of the people moving in our room, so we start play techno, and there was 100% Vietnamese people, and everyone enjoy, everyone gets really involved in something that they never, experienced before. I mean, this was the moment that I realized that, okay, we can do something because the people enjoy, so this is the most important, I mean, is they really stay for the music, they listen, they ask questions, they discover something new.
Well, it's just happened like in December 2019, so a few months ago. We learned that we had to close by midnight because there is a new neighbor that built up a new apartment, and I guess like the vibration from the club were too intense. Finishing at midnight, for us, it's the end.
Okay, so this was formerly known as the lounge. The DJ booth used to be over here. It was here for the first few years, and then they moved it to over here, which I preferred. DJ would be up here. This would basically be the dance floor, which is such an incredible space. Here you could come and have a good cocktail or a good beer and just hang out with a bunch of friends and, enjoy yourself. It's definitely still got the memories and the energy of what it used to have. It was a beautiful place. We had such good times. The terrace was also a really fun little spot that we used to enjoy. It was either in the beginning of the evening or the mornings. It was mostly used for the after parties. And like I said earlier, in the evenings, just to get everybody comfortable. The creme de la creme of this place is obviously the view. It's watching the sunrise and having incredible artists that used to set the atmosphere for all of us to enjoy this beautiful place.
The funniest one is like when it's people traveling, they heard about Savage on the Resident Advisor, and so they come. And because I was there every weekend, I can recognize who's new or not, right? And I could see them, and they're with their drinks, and they look around, and I know what they are thinking. They're like, see, I heard they are at function one sound system, because you see they are looking at the sound system, being like, it's not functional, I don't understand, maybe I'm not at the right place. And it takes ages for them to find the club. And sometimes I love to go to them and just be like, did you see the club? And I open the door and they're so happy, and that was so hilarious every time. It's like Disneyland, you give the gift every time.
I mean, when you got here, like this area was all light and funky and housey, and then you would walk this way and it was almost like a completely different atmosphere. We get some light for you. So you would pull this door, it was always closed, just for sound insulation. So you would follow this, take a turn, and you would open this door and the music would just get louder and louder. And once you open this door, oh man, it was everything. It used to be almost dark and intimate, and there was all this smoke, and it was very, it was almost like a detachment from reality. It was a place where you could come and just enjoy the music and enjoy the time and the intimacy with friends and disconnect.
They get into the lounge and it's like, oh, it's fine, decent music. We get into the recce and it's like, fuck it. I dance like crazy. I never did it before, but I went to Savage and I danced like a lunatic person. And we realized that this is the place, you know? This is the place.
The news was kind of a bummer at the beginning, but then we saw this new place and straight the whole team were like, shall we do it? Yes, we shall. And we were super motivated because we have so many ideas that the location before couldn't let us do. It was not possible to have like a record shop or to do more like day parties or something like that. So now with this new location, we're gonna be able to push our dreams a little bit further. So at the end, it's good.
The scene, the DJ scene here is foreign-led. You know, the event organized by foreigners invite other foreigners and so on. I don't think I don't even think it's conscious. You know, it's like you have a group of friends. You say, okay, oh yeah, you play. You know, and that's it. You know, it's not maybe thinking hard enough or long enough.
I really like what the Metro guys does, where you can see an expat with a Vietnamese. It's good to see a kind of partnership actually to throw a party.
Do you think you're influenced a lot by like the UK scene?
For sure, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, like I am incredibly lucky to be able to go like somewhere and see a developed scene and understand like how and why it works, and that's what I've noticed like with Vietnamese DJs here is that I guess they haven't seen it, and I'm not saying that like in the more developed countries the scene is correct or the sound is correct, but it's definitely like set in stone and like developed in some way. So there is something to learn or take from that.
I know that there's been a few times where Vietnamese DJs have been booked internationally, but because of like visa restrictions and stuff, they haven't been able to do it. So that's like a bit of that's like something that's holding it back a lot, which isn't their fault. Like there's nothing they can do about that here, and they're doing well here, and then they're just being held back by where they come from. That's it, which is pretty unfair. There isn't like the same access to equipment and stuff like that here. Like if people want to go out and buy equipment to start producing music, or like turntables or records or anything like that, there just isn't the same accessibility to it, which is holding probably a lot of people back as well that we don't even know about yet.
The scene in Vietnam is not as developed as in the West. You know, like the West, dance music is now, you know, it's gone mainstream. You know, it's not really underground, whatever that means. You know, but so in Vietnam it's kind of more limited.
It's a work in progress. I mean, it's introducing them to the music. Like D-Lin, for example, she started DJing a year ago, and she's just like amazing. I mean, she's an example of how a Vietnamese local can, as long as if she's given the right platform and the encouragement, like that, I think she's going to become super famous, like with the right push behind her.
I started playing when my friend gave me a small controller, and I started to practice on it. And after 2 weeks practicing, I found a DJ competition in Taeho district through a local organizer, and I put my 30-minute set for them, and they put me the first slot of the gig. And I met the two guys who also working in Savage as sound engineer and also resident DJ there, and we start to hang out. And after they asked me to play in the lounge. And after a few months, one of the guys got another job and left Savage. So they asked me to join the team, and then I became the resident DJ in Savage. In the Red Cube, I usually warm up for the main DJ, and like the feeling when the room is empty and you start to make people to listen and start to dancing and more people come. It's like you lead the people to your music journey, and I really love that feeling. I met Marco in clubs, and after we start to hang out, he invited me to come to episode and want me to represent the Hanoi scene. Normally they book many international big DJ names. I feel very honored and exciting and a bit of nervous at the same time. But I think it's good pressure to be in this lineup. It was very emotional, and I learned a lot, and it was a great experience for me. When Marco talked to me about episode and about joining home team, he also explained me a lot about his project, and the main goal he wants to focus is to focus on the local DJs and to bring the whole scene together.
The idea of the project is create like like a community laboratory, or now we have the studio. I mean, even some workshop, some meeting during the day, some Ableton session, some everything make people feel more comfortable to something that they don't know.
When I start to DJing, I'm no one, and everyone in here support me a lot and give me chances. So I want to do the same for them as I can to support and to bring the Hanoi scene further.
A scene needs more than club events or bars, you know. So I think it needs media, it needs places like shops, you know, where to go. It needs also. So I don't know how. I really can't remember how I got the idea first, and like how it came first. But at some point I thought it would be cool, you know, basically recording DJs and then and compile it and put it online and see, you know, like have some sort of a library of what people are doing here. There's two things, like saying, okay, check it out, this is what's happening in Hanoi, but also in 2-3 years time, you know, kind of look back and say, okay, this is what was happening in 3 years and look where we are now. It's like, it's more, you know, basically a medium, you know, it's kind of to witness, you know, to witness what's going on here. Well, I mean, what's going to happen in the future is impossible to tell, because first it's going very, very fast. Like only in the last couple of months there's been like so much development, so many developments. This is the thing, like Hanoi goes so fast, everything goes so fast here. You know, before you know, you could have like 4, 5, 6 clubs, you know, before the end of the year, you know. I'm not sure how many would last, you know, but they would definitely open, and, you know, I don't know, it's like, to me, more important than the club is what I was saying before. It's like the day we're gonna have like record labels and, you know, homegrown producers. When I say homegrown, both locals and foreigners, I think that's gonna be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, there's lots of music coming out of Hanoi. Depends what scene you're going to be talking about. Being a house, yeah, it's loads. You know, they're really into that. But we're just talking about like the underground, more house and techno electronica sound. There's not a huge amount of at the moment, but I think in the next couple of years, even year or so, you'll see a lot more because they've been exposed to more of that sound. Well, actually, Nam Trinyu DJ, his DJ name Trinyu, he just made an edit of like an old Vietnamese track, and I thought that was great, really nice, really cool. Just applied some old school like 80s drums to it. I think that's what he did. You know, he's digging for certain interesting stuff.
So the track was like a Vietnamese track, but it was produced in the 90s, and I played the Savage in the red keys. At first, people was like, okay, groovy, nice. And then when there's like the Vietnamese vocal starting, it was like, bitch, you know, something like that. It's kind of funny. I having my good time there. And at the same time, I think it's really difficult, like to do Vietnamese house or techno track, because if you want to do it, you have to do it properly. If you don't do it properly, it sounds like a gimmick, you know? It's just like, just get people wow at a time, but it doesn't rest for long.
Yeah, he's making some interesting stuff, and I think he will continue to. He will find something interesting, and he'll go for it. You know, he digs a lot. I think you definitely will see more of it, and yeah, with Savage opening like a record shop as well. Like you'll see more people interested in vinyl, and with the radio station as well. Like it's just going to be a real interesting cultural hub for a lot of people to come and experience that and get exposed to it. And then obviously the club itself as well will still like push it for a lot of people. They won't ever have seen anything like that. So yeah, I think even in the next 5 years, like things will change quite a lot, and there will definitely be more producers here from the Vietnamese side. Yeah, for sure.
So tomorrow afternoon, he would like to meet us all.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
The Pico Acoustic.
From Italy?
Yeah, from
Italy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we
meet up tomorrow. I will
So yeah, you come here and you're gonna have the wall of the club, and you're gonna have the corridor.
Yeah, so
record shop here. It's gonna be closed at night, and then a kind of seating area and the entrance for the club. It's gonna be the same as the cube. With the DJ booth in the middle, we also gonna have the 2 pillars that we had next to the DJ booth. And it's gonna be similar, but a little bit bigger actually. Yeah. And let's go upstairs. Okay, let's do this there. So yeah, the lounge area. So we're gonna have the bar over here. It's gonna be the bar over here, and DJ booth we're gonna be over here. And here we're gonna have like a lot of sitting area. So compared to the lounge before, it's gonna be also very nice, comfy, a lot of seating, a lot of lights. We have a really nice terrace here. go on the garden. So the record shop is downstairs. It's pretty chill for Hanoi.
I'm coming, Min. So yeah, what we're thinking about... Yeah, I'm coming, Min, 1 second. What we think about is basically those toilets. We just want to change them by having the room to go inside and have the DJ booth. Okay. So the idea is the DJ booth should be here. So the guy is just inside and he's kind of facing the record shop.
So I think like the vinyl culture will also help you to start your own collection at home and be like, this is what I really like, that kind of sound, so you can dig a bit more. You have the choice to just download music easily, fast, but you also have the choice to sit and touch something. I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna listen to it, do I like it or not? I cannot download and get it for free, so if I pay it, it means that I really like it, so it really pushes you to focus a little bit more on your passion.
The goal is just to be able to be sitting around and come for coffee and have like the kind of community.
The vinyl will, it's a plus, but the real thing behind is just being able to meet up somewhere with everyone, people that you meet during the weekend differently.
It's just, yeah, it's about having, like, we don't have that in Hanoi, like a space for people interested in music. You're a DJ, producer, just a music lover, just a place to come and talk about music and listen to music. And that's what Hanoi needs, I think, and then we're going to get it, which is amazing.
If there's a Savage record label, a Savage radio, a Savage coffee shop, that's perfect. You know, it's like this is, you know, is opening the doors, leading the way. You know, saying like, hey guys, this is the direction where you need to go. As I was saying at the beginning, you need more than clubs. You know, you need, you know, other things happening, you know, media shops, whatever.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan city. It's a new type of coronavirus.
Attacks of deaths, if you like, that any country
has known. The World Health Organization said
one nation from the outset sought to beat COVID-19 and has apparently succeeded: Vietnam. Bordering China, the similarly authoritarian country instituted mass quarantines and social distancing.
So we get the key, I remember, like January. So we start like all the construction in March. It took longer because of the virus, but at the end we could open with the soft opening on the 12th or 13th of June, if I remember. Then a month after, we could open the place fully with the bar, second floor, and the club, first floor, and the terrace, third floor. Parties are happening here in Vietnam and it's good, but people are still a bit, I think, not as it used to be. So I don't know, I think it's just a mood and it's just like a phase. It should be like fine in the next month, but the good thing now is we can develop and help more through the local scene, but the lineup is kind of limited. We try to be creative and we've been doing a lot of new, let's say, unexpected back-to-back, also like parties and supporting more like record label parties here in town, but yeah, it's still challenging because the place is much bigger compared to the first one, and we had, let's say, more choices with the first one. So, but I know it's just a phase, and we just have to wait a few more months, and probably, and hopefully by the end of 2021, and being able to really deliver what we want to do through this club in 2022. at the end, I think we're all trying to stay like productive and active on what we want to do. And Sammy, who is doing mostly booking. On my side, I prefer to focus a bit more on the record store that we open now. We were really surprised at the beginning. We didn't know what to expect, but the turnout was quite good. I realized that a lot of people were here like to listen to music, to also buy records. A lot ask for buying turntables. So we started to check how we could get more turntables from Japan, which is probably the easiest way. The thing we did not expect was the vinyl went like pretty fast, and now we just like having less and less stock, and we cannot bring stock from overseas, and we had plans before COVID, but now we need to figure it out because most of the regulars kind of know the collection now, so they want to have more choices. So hopefully we can do that later this year.
I love digging in porn record because it's so different than you choose it online. When I download music online, I normally skip through the music. But when I'm in the record store, I listen more carefully because I have to make a decision if I really want to spend my money. Before porn, I have to listen record online and choose and order it online. It's difficult to import stuff outside Vietnam to inside Vietnam because the government have a tough rule about it. And maybe 1 month you order the record, you can have it, or maybe the government will send you some paper. They want you to prove the record is not against the government.
Yeah, in terms of people coming here, let's say it's a good mix of young Vietnamese, older Vietnamese, expat, young, or you know, it's and in terms of music, everyone is just looking for different things. You can find people who are just looking for hip hop, or some who are asking for yeah, electronic music. But yeah, it's pretty open. I think it's a bit like the club, but without dancing, because at the end you see the same people, and it's even like more tied with like people who are really into music. You can hang, and I mean it depends. Some are just like coming and they don't talk to anyone. They know what they want. They want to listen to music. They want to buy and they want to live. Some want to hang. Some actually don't want to buy, but they just want to listen to and get a coffee. It's a good step for the city, and yeah, it's like just a new hang space for that small community. What I realized is the taste of other DJs that I thought they were just into that sound, but then I start realizing that they like other sounds too, and we just start talking and just realized that yeah, the music community was bigger than I thought.
So basically, I would just want to help people to find good music.
Both of us, like, we try to recommend or giving some information based on the vinyls, because like there's so many stuff that like not so many people have seen before. House and technos like in vinyl. I don't think any local have seen that. So they could be curious, they could be clueless. You just like come and talk to them, give them some ideas, like information. Try to listen to it. If they like it, they will take it. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the main purpose. And we will figure it out more and more after we work for it to make it the best way for everyone.
I think it's good having them involved with porn because they are, yeah, like let's say key players in the music scene here in Vietnam, and we really want to help and develop, and giving them this opportunity to be like, okay, you guys can be here and you have access to all of it, and you can spend time on the turntables and improve your DJ skills with vinyl, or you can also spend more time to dig other artists, record labels. They also have to do all the logistics, which is recording all the vinyl prices and everything. So of course, having two young artists from the city is probably better for us, because we just want to give this, you know, this little boost for them to be like, okay. I mean, for them, as I say, like being Vietnamese, living here, growing up in Hanoi or Saigon, and not having access of vinyl for listening or digging music, while the only way you learn was probably, let's say, Bandcamp, Discogs, Redacted or whatever. And now it's completely new for them. It's like, okay, now I have a shop where I can just touch what I like, and maybe I can also buy what I want, and having my own collection at home. So yeah, of course, it's a new way of getting your music. So of course, better to have Lin and Nam involved.
So the Warehouse is the first underground club in Hanoi. 100% team is Vietnamese.
Something new in Hanoi actually. It's like Thomas told me it's like this in Europe, but in Vietnam is the first time I've been to this. Just open the door and bam, 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 and yeah,
it's impressive the first time.
It's just a very professional space. It feels like you're in Europe. You walk in there. It feels like a real art center kind of club space. It's clean, it smells of carpet. The sound system is new and beautiful.
It's really good for the young Vietnamese scene who come from the V-House, EDM scene. And I mean, it's a perfect transition.
For young local people from Hanoi, they want to experience something new, good music. Like techno, like house, like disco, breakbeat, something they never heard before.
You won't fill that space with a small name. You have to be like bringing a big name, so which is good because then the weekend you'll be like, oh, where should I go? Should I listen to, I don't know. I'm not gonna say Carl Cox, but you'll be like, should I listen to a small act or a local crew or a big name, or you know, which is good for the city because when you go to any big cities, like you have the choice between going to a small super underground party, go to a middle thing, or go to let's say a commercial thing. But I always like defend the choices. I think that's the most important in the city is like the people have the choice to go out and be like, I want this, I want that, where should I go? And not being like, that's all I have.
The Southeast Asian nation of Vietnam is currently witnessing a resurgence of infections.
Skyrocketed.
With
Saturday,
over
the capital
11,000
Hanoi
new
went into a
cases and
15-day lockdown to try and
737
curb the wave of
COVID-related deaths
infections
in
spreading from the
24
south of
hours.
Vietnam.
Vietnam reported its
Yeah, we did our opening the day before the city got closed for COVID. I don't know, 2 days before, sorry. But there was obviously a lot of work coming up to it, the biggest job we've ever done, refitting the place, a lot of excitement and meetings and, you know, Mixmag special article on the place, and there was much hype. The calendar was booked for 4 or 5 months every weekend with all of the promoters really excited, and I was like, feeling really good about it. And then we got closed down on the Wednesday and we were essentially closed for a year after that. So yeah, we're lucky. It really varied. I mean, I went from having weeks and months of not thinking about it and being really positive, saying, well, we'll probably open next month. I mean, this was always the thing on the tip of our tongue. Next month it's going to open, next month. Everyone was like this, the whole of lockdown, you know, looking for the next mark in the sand where everything was going to change. But yeah, we did definitely hit rock bottom as well. What have I done? I've invested all of my money into this closed nightclub. Stupid, stupid thing to do. And I think all of us came to that point, and we'd speak to someone else from the team and they'd say, you know, it's fine. It's going to be okay. And it was, fortunately. Well, we're not done yet, you know. This is just the first part, and I'm really excited about the team. I mean, the team is super strong, and we will have experience in different areas. Yeah, I think we're going to do some really exciting concepts, visual stuff, promotional stuff, musical stuff that we've not been able to do in the past. Yeah, excited.
We just want to reopen every weekend and have like just a serious like programmation and really eclectic. That's the main goal.
Well, I want it to continue to be a free and safe space to be yourself and to go a bit crazy. You know, that's always been the vibe of the place, and that's why people like the place. They feel like they can do what they want here. You know, it feels free, and that for me is the most important thing in a nightclub.
Okay, so this is home studio. Welcome. We can start from our first premier etage. So it's the bar. It's the place when Mr. Zung create his his cocktail and his drink for make people chilling and enjoy the place, enjoy the view. I will bring you upstairs. We are going on the second floor. Let's go in. One door. Welcome to home studio. Okay, so the first step of the studio is to record our sound, create our unique sound that tomorrow can go out and everyone can recognize around, say, okay, this sound comes from home studio. And represent also, of course, Vietnam and all the communities. So the thing is, bring people together here and with different skills, try to create something. Of course, we will teach how to make music on everything related to the electronic music, and I will be pushing to work with analog synthesizer because it's a different way to discover music and go deep with music. So the dream is to make people come here and feel free to explore, experiment what they have in mind or what they would like to do, and maybe they don't have opportunity. So this place is quite open to everyone. Sometimes we don't know where we go. We just think that we can go somewhere. We don't know where, but it's important to go and start to, you know, see the way. So the studio is the first step to see the way, you know. So I think that this can be something important in future. I would like to create and build something that tomorrow can help also other people to trust themselves and follow their dream, because this is also a dream. And okay, let's go upstairs. I show you the club room. Here's bingo. So welcome to the club room. We are on the third floor of the space. This is a proper DJ booth. So the idea is give people the feeling that tomorrow when they will play somewhere, they already break the fear to play on the stage. People stay here hours and hours, and you know, the space is intimate, the sound is Function 1 sound, so the sound is pretty good. You have access to all our equipment for a really low price. I mean, we create connection, everyone know each other, you know, because have some people coming 2-3 times or every week, so they know them, they know each other already. And I mean, like this we can create a new community. This is what people need to understand, is like, you have this place, so use it. Because I mean, you know, we always talk about, but we don't have, or we need, and now we have. So I really want people just use it as much they can, because this makes everything alive. So we are doing now some project like open decks on Thursday. So this is mostly from Vietnamese. Even we have foreigner coming, but actually 80% I can say is Vietnamese coming. Most of people maybe they don't have any equipment at home, so it's one way we need to give back something to a place that we are living and the people that are welcoming us.
There's definitely been growth within the community. I know COVID has messed things up a bit, but yeah, the community's gone from strength to strength, you know. And there's a lot of passionate people here, passionate promoters, making music and playing music and doing all manner of visual stuff. It's awesome, really, the people that we have here. We're blessed.
Everyone do something in another level now. You know, everyone try to make the step. You know, before was like, okay, we do event, it's just event. Now it's like, okay, how we can do this better. I think COVID bring everyone together in the good way. I mean, everyone still do something, you know, but we are more close.
I think this kind of incubation effect of everyone being stuck here, it's interesting, and I think Taeho's always had that vibe even before COVID, and it's definitely broken down a lot of boundaries within people living here, including myself, you know. In the UK I was a lot more tribal with my music taste and I wouldn't mix with people who are into other stuff, but in Taeho it's not that big and you end up rubbing shoulders with people who are into totally different stuff. And Thomas, my current partner, is a good example. I don't think in the UK I ever would have ended up talking to him, let alone working with him. But in Taeho we have different backgrounds and different interests, but we ended up working together, you know, and this has happened so many times, and I've got to know so many people from totally different scenes and styles of music that maybe I don't appreciate yet, and it's been great, you know, and there's been a lot of cross-pollination, people working together, people getting outside of their comfort zones, so that's been a real positive, I think, of this locked-in effect.
The scene is more Vietnamese than before, so I think that this is the big goal that everyone wanna reach.
The crowd has changed a lot during the past 2 years. I see like there are more Vietnamese people are interested in going to clubs, like to listen to underground music, and it's like some kind of a switch between the foreigner and Vietnamese people, which is, I think, that is a really good thing. That like now we have more support from the local scene.
It changed like recently.
Recently, yeah.
Like really like 1 or 2. Now you can see Savage is full, like it's mainly the local, and yeah, I mean it's good. Finally, yeah.
People come choose like Savage or the Studio Adventure or the Warehouse. So it's I see it's more a lot of Vietnamese people now take this kind of music, but before it's like sharp dubstep and EDM thing, yeah.
They adapt with the scene because we have the key. The key is the music. We have good music. We have good crowd, good people, good DJ.
I think like when the border is open again for foreigners and tourists, it will be like a mix of the two crowds. It will be so nice, I think. Yeah.
So the time before, the local DJ scene just have like Mines, like Quân, like Chundi. Now we have like a lot of local talent DJ, especially like Ziling, Manic, Vietnam, Thao Phu. It's an uprising style in Hanoi. They have so good music.
Yeah, it's such a big change in the city. That's why I love and being like super happy with the result. Being like, okay, it was nice doing this project because at the end, back in 2016, as I say, started with like 3 DJs and now seeing like all these new upcoming artists. If you look back at Nam or Lin or Viet An or Park, Envy, Hoi, I mean those names, like 2016, none of them were there. Yeah, it's just such a good thing to see like that it worked at the end.
Since COVID happened, we could not book international DJ to clubs. So I think this is like a really good period for local DJs to have more chance to like develop and have more chance to play. I feel like after that, the local DJ become so strong, and we learn from each other, we support each other, and we became really close after between Hanoi, Saigon, or Da Nang. Yeah.
Just think about all of them being able to have access of all these parties, all this music, and being like, oh, okay, that's good, and they know what they want, what they like, and then they also meet others who want the same. You know, it's just like growing, and of course in 10 years, then there'll be like so many artists around, and who would love to do, being more involved with in the music scene, with production or DJing or everything, just everything related to. So. Of course, it's still like such a long way up, but it's great. That's what I love about Vietnam. It's just it's not saturated yet, so you still have a space for creativity. I see the evolution from 2016 and now, and I know that in the next years it's just going to be like more and more interesting again.
Beyond imagination.